The following has been put together for your viewing enjoyment. I hope you appreciate the effort that went into making this production. I currently work as a stripper, and make these videos in my spare time, although stripping does take a lot out of me on a day-to-day basis. Please subscribe so that I know my efforts are not in vain. Hugs and kisses. Mizreddit. Home invasion gone wrong. Melbourne, Australia. Check out this video from Australia that shows some criminals learning the hard way that crime doesn't pay. Underwear man just went full fucking beast mode. That was honestly the most unexpected part about this whole thing. I don't know. I think the fucking axe took me by surprise the most. It seems no one noticed that Speedo guy bashed the rear screen of that white car before it went off. That's why I keep my distance from any commotion. That white car was in on it as well. You can see the car waiting there for them. Back up. You see the car drive up and someone hopped out. The guy that hopped out was the guy that got kicked out of the first car's driver's seat at the beginning. I think he ran away to car number 2 with bad guy number 3 in it. Car number 2 got its rear window smashed. This video is so satisfying. It was a lookout, getaway car. They weren't innocent passers-by. LOL. They were likely involved lookout car, perhaps. I'm surprised they took so long to start bashing out the windows. Gone wrong. I guess that depends who you ask. Seems to have gone swimmingly for the guy with the sledgehammer. LOL. Pretty sure that was a damn splitting axe, which is even worse news for them. You are correct, my dude. I'm sure it was a splitting maul as well. When the camera angle changed, I expected the guy who slipped was going to have a big gash in his leg. Okay, so it is essentially a hammer. Was wondering why it looked like an axe, yet was so blunt. And also that he's not a complete psychopath, cause hacking someone that many times with an axe really stops being home protection at a pretty early on point. Bad things happen to bad people. The suspects actually got away from that beating only to be captured after a pursuit with the police. All 3 teenagers have been remanded in custody to appear at children's court at a later date. I hope at children's court, everyone is a child including security. I sentence you to 10 years timeout, without juice boxes. Do I still get ice cream if I eat my carrots? A video can't lose when it has a guy in a plum slinger swinging a sledgehammer. I hope the defenders are clear of all charges. In France, one could get prosecuted for defending their home with unfitting strength compared to the aggressors. In a nutshell, you can't stab an intruder unless they've threatened your life openly. Yeah, very unfortunately these guys can be charged. The threat was over when the intruders were running away. The residents then attacked them at their car, etc. I guess it could be argued they were trying to perform a citizen's arrest against uncooperative parties. Hopefully they get a decent lawyer and that holds up. They were stealing the car, so the threat to property still remained. Here in Australia, threat to property isn't a valid excuse for harming someone else. defending a person or yourself is. I don't agree with the laws. I think if someone tries to steal your shit, you should be able to beat the shit out of them. Just telling you what the law is. In Texas, under certain conditions you can legally shoot and kill someone in the back as they are running away with your stuff. Sounds like Texas to me. God bless this great state. Sucker-free since 1833. Sounds like it prevents stealing. I saw a video on Watch People Die, where some dude was publicly hacked to death with an axe after he stole chickens. Yes, it was a third world country. I bet the chicken owner won't be fucked with. Was about to say. If this went down in the Lone Star State, we would be watching multiple fatalities. Is there less break-in in Texas than other states? Do you know any statistic? Wish I could defend my home like that. In other states you can defend your home and car with lethal force. I believe Texas is the only one you can shoot after the intruder is no longer a threat but is taking certain possessions. I live in a smaller town in a red state. If you are on my property, I can probably kill you. I think we have had maybe 3 home invasions in the last decade or so. 2 were done by the same guys. One of them ended up getting shot. The third one got caught a couple days later. So what are you supposed to do? Just let them take your stuff and ask them nicely to stop. This sounds exactly like the sort of thing that well-meaning, but short-sighted people would come up with. Yeah, very unfortunately these guys can be charged. And the internet goes wild, but anyone can be charged. Being charged does not make you guilty. Which is why I stated a possible offense. Being charged, at least here in Australia, means there is evidence you have committed a crime. In this case assault. As I said, the self-defense, defense ends once the threat is over, which it was when these guys kept, justifiably in my opinion, attacking the invaders. The police unfortunately happily arrest and charge people for this. If they are charged, they will need to be bailed, to not stay in police custody until their court date. Therefore being charged with a crime, even if a court finds you innocent, is a big pain in the ass still. How do you know they didn't have guns in their car they were going to go get? Or we're going to use their car to try to ram the house and hurt you. Until someone is dead or in custody, I'd say the threat isn't over. Australia, so the likelihood of guns is pretty low. Although some other dude got shot in the face the same night in Australia during a home invasion. Don't the criminals know they're not supposed to have guns? Australia ranks 51 out of 230 per capita civilian gun ownership according to Wikipedia. I'd say the chances of them having a gun is average. That list doesn't separate out handguns and rifles. I know we have a large amount of rifles for animal control in the bush, but not too sure on the handgun front. It looked like the intruders were also trying to steal their car in the driveway as well. So they were still a threat. You can't stab an intruder unless they've threatened your life openly. You could always leave them in the middle of fucking nowhere and they would need to prove they were in your house to begin with. I've never understood that mentality. The law is protecting the criminal. They've already broken in, they're clearly not there to wish me a good day. Why should I have to give him a fighting chance? I agree. They unscrupulously try to ruin one's home. That is to say the work of a life, and possibly cause lifelong traumas to its inhabitants for a bunch of cash money only. I have no scruples. I will use any means necessary to protect my home and my family. So apparently France doesn't recognize breaking into someone's home as a threat to your life. Interesting to know. It's the same in many jurisdictions, not just France. Even in most US states. Someone breaks into your house. You're going to need to convince the DA that you were fearing for your life, if you shot at, and possibly killed the burglar or intruder. If the guy is running at you down the hallway, by all means, you'll be fine. But if he's found on your lawn with 6 rounds in his back, then you might have an uphill battle. If you liked this video, don't forget to click subscribe, hit the golden bell icon, and make sure you have notifications enabled on your account. To enable notifications, simply search "How to enable notifications on my YouTube account." Mizreddit.